They have lockers, showers. We have about 40 operators and laborers on site. This is our new storage building we put up about a year ago. Before we used to just have equipment and nobody had a garage, and so now we have a garage where you see the fence, we store our tools, we have cameras in there, generators are in there, and then we also have a regular storage facility. We have a street sweeper on site that helps kind of maintain the roads and takes out nails, and that's our little barbecue area. So in front of you is an important part of the landfill. This is the landfill gas system. We have flares. You can see those two flare stacks. Those flare stacks will burn methane if the engines are down. And the engines, I'll show you, there's 7 engines. And that facility right here, it creates 20 megawatts of renewable power. It's sold to Anaheim Utilities, and it's about 20 megawatts a day. And I like to tell the kids on the tour, like homeschool, we power Disneyland. So the landfill gas, see this black header? It's rolled up and it's pulled through those engines, and it's converted into power. And these big power lines, these are pretty new, only 5 years old, and it takes it. You can see them. The power lines go all the way down to the grid and feed into the grid. So all the methane, if you took out all of the dirt and trash in front of you here, you would see an exoskeleton of these pipes that are designed to pull the methane gas. And you can see like a little reader on top of that. It kind of sees what the flow is.
So wouldn't this be a hazard area that can be explosive?
This right here.
With the methane gas,
the methane,
the tank and everything.
We've had guys where you puncture the line, and what happens is it automatically sends a signal to the power plant operator, and it shuts it down. There's a shutdown because there's a loss of vacuum, and so there's those systems in place where we haven't had a fire at all, but it's just because it shuts down, and once those engines shut down, those flares kick on. Because we can't stop emitting methane. We have to have either the engines that pull it for power or the flares that burn it, which is both regulatory approved.
So the power we sell to different companies, the funds, is that included in that $360,000 daily revenue?
No, that's about another $8,000 in royalty fees. We don't get the funds from it. It's a private-public partnership with Bowerman Power. They're a separate LLC entity that's here for 20 years. They get the revenue and they get the expense of managing that plant. We get $8,000 in royalties a day.
A day? Wow.
So those water tanks right here, those are the leachate and condensate tanks that we talked about. And behind it are the stormwater basins that you can see the guys that are pulling the silt out. When all of the water is funneled down to 2 basins. Those basins are tested, and after that, and it gets too full, we let it go, and it goes into another basin further down and runs into a stream through the Portola Hills community. But for now, you can see we don't have rain, so we're cleaning out all of the silt. And when water comes down, silt is collected and disposed in that basin here, and then there's another basin on the other side. So that's all stormwater management. Anytime, you take away a natural environment that had a canyon and had an area where the water, you have to create, you have to create basins that will hold the water, test it, and then you're allowed to release it.
But it doesn't go to water treatment center to be like cleaned up and for agricultural purpose.
No water. It's usually tested. It meets the parameters and let go. Usually it just goes down into a stream and feeds other wildlife. You can see behind that basin. See how there's wildlife there. That's a wetland that was actually created and designed as by our biologists. We needed to create at least 2 acres of wetland with frogs and different things. We had to create a wetland.
falcons are at?
Falcons, the falconer is not coming out till we just had a meeting about that in 2 weeks. They don't come out until October, and then they leave right before the summer. We don't get much seagulls during that time. The seagull season is usually during the rainy season.
So they bring them here in the morning and then takes them back at night every day or something?
He comes out here in the morning. He's here all day. He has his 3 birds perched up, and whenever there's seagulls that come or a flock, he go ahead and lets one of those birds go and chases them out. Before we had the falconer, we used to have like shotgun, like just noise things, and I mean it was a safety issue. We would have the operators couldn't even see. It was just all white birds moving and hitting the tabs. There was I remember it actually. They learned about this technique from a landfill in Santa Barbara near the coast where they had a real bad problem, and then they decided, let's try a falconer, and that technique has actually been used now throughout other landfills that are near an ocean. Seagulls are a big problem in landfill community, and it's kind of been eradicated from the falconer.
Which trash is in LA? Who sends it out to the ocean? Because I've seen barges out there with trash.
I'm not sure about that. I know that I don't know.
Yeah, they send barges out with trash to the ocean. I didn't know if that was LA County or something on.
There's your.
Yes. So these are the water tanks that support the compost facility. And I'll go around. You can see it on the left, the compost facility.
So we'll come back this way.
Yes, we can come back this way.
Are we gonna see any fresh trash?
You want to see some trash?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to drive through this compost facility. You can take a good photo.
Wow, all this compost stuff. We could use them too.
These are windrows. They're building in windrow piles. This is how it's designed.
And do they have a compost in the San Juan one too?
Yes, they do. And then in the Brea landfill, they're going to build one there as well. They're about 2 years behind in Brea, just because they're focusing on closing up the shop, the landfill. So you can see it. And then on the other side, that's the finished compost. And on the side over here is the mulch.
Oh, okay.
The mulch is over there.
Yeah.
Finished is over there. And then these are the active piles that are in the process of composting.
So on the water here, are you using reclaimed water from Irvine Ranch
We
Water?
are using reclaimed water, not potable, which helps our operational costs.
So this is a compost you can buy at the store, right?
Yeah, I believe so. This is compost you can buy at the store. It's residential. It's not commercial grade, but it's still residential, clean, green material. I don't know if we're going to be selling in the store. We don't want to get in the business of competing with private enterprise like Kellogg or different local big companies. You're not going to see County of Orange and Home Depot, but you're going to see County of Orange giving it out for free or working with cities to find areas to put it.
If you have this much compost, why don't you open more frequently? And I bet many people would want to come to.
Yeah, that's why we did that. We did that event, and we're going to do it again in November 5th, and probably again shortly in 2023.
But not just for Irvine resident, is it?
There is discussions. If you go to Miramar Greenery, which is owned by City of San Diego, they do a program where residents can get a scoop for free at any time. And so there could be programs in place for Orange County residents to just come up here and grab as much compost as you want, or
That'd be
scoop.
nice.
A scoop fills up basically a pickup truck easily.
It's a half a yard.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Scoop is like a little half pickup. So that's our finished compost right here, and this is what we bagged for you guys. If you want to use it for
cool.
your
So
potted
you allow
plants.
residents to drive up here?
No, we would have them go to where we were in that parking lot, and we would bring the material down there.
Well, that's a lot of work.
Well, that's probably why we wouldn't want to do it all the time, right?
Allow them to come here one day of the week, you know. That way.
Yeah, like on Saturdays when we're not as busy. No, it's
Maybe
true.
you should start charging them.
There's a lot of things that we can do.
And people are off work. More people would come.
Yep. No, I mean other municipal compost facilities. San Diego's like about 10 years ahead of us. They do it for their residents, so I don't see why we can't. You know, instead of
volunteers,
one-offs.
I bet you can get volunteers for Saturday to work here.
And now I know
Absolutely.
where all the gardeners would come to get compost to put on our lawns, and they charge us $6 a bag.
Yeah. And eventually we may open it up to landscapers, but we're gonna start charging. We would charge the landscapers.
Yeah, that would be good.
No, but you already make so much money off other stuff, you know, just make it free.
No, free to us, but not landscapers.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial landscapers.
Right.
Free to residents, not free to business.
Yeah.
How often do you have these public tours?
Public tours. Well, we have two from your group today and Friday, and then tomorrow we have Vanguard Environmental Science class is coming out. So we have a lot of homeschool groups, some colleges, our local high school environmental senior kind of AP course folks come out here. We have engineer discussions. We have discussions with project managers who are working in Cal State Fullerton. So we try to stay active and educate residents and provide just general opportunity or knowing of what we do. Not many people know what we do or even have been to a landfill.
Yeah.
So
Well, that waiver form scared me a little bit. You know, you read all the fine prints. Yeah, I think you don't have to make it so scary because otherwise people would.
I didn't read it. What did it say?
Oh my! It says you can die.
Oh yeah, well that's good.
I can try on the freeways just as easy.
You should revise that thing so more people would come.
I'll talk to our county council.
Speaking of dying,
Disagree that we need
I
to
thought we were gonna go
no matter
under
what people
Yeah.
do.
some big machines or something.
Well, there are. See these big trucks?
speaking of dying, since this place opened in 1995, did you ever had any forensic teams coming here requesting to search for dead body or something?
Once.
Wow.
Twice?
Once.
Once?
Once. It was a legitimate situation. There's the line. They looked at it and they couldn't find anything, but they had to pay about $80,000 to do the investigation. At Brea, they did a couple of investigations, but nothing has been found at any of the landfills so far from investigations or CSI moments.
So why have they spent why does it cost $80,000?
Because we'd have to excavate, and there's a lot of work involved in pulling all that out. Like I've had folks come and, I mean, with just genuinely sad because their wedding ring was in the trash,
Oh yeah.
and it was like the day before. We would tell them it's like 20 feet deep now. And
Yeah.
it would cost 10 times, 20 times more than that wedding ring to get it.
Right.
Oh my goodness! Did they really
They're sad.
dig through that?
No, they couldn't come up here and do that.
Oh my!
So are those the people who paid 80,000 just to look for a wedding ring?
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it would just be very. It's never
We
happened.
would not be able to find it.
Yeah, we would be able to find it. The only time if you guys, the only time you can ever recover something that's coming here for disposal, and you know something of value is taken from your house, follow the truck up.
Yeah.
Follow that truck wherever it goes, and you have to literally. That's it. It has to be real time. Like they're leaving, and you get in your car and you follow them here, and that happened once, and the guy found what he needed to find.
Wow.
So it's very rare, but we do have people come out here, and so we say, do you want a tour?
Yeah.
What are those triangle things, those black things
Triangle things?
that are scattered throughout?
The wind fence. These are wind fences that help control litter, especially when
Oh,
the
okay.
sand is gone. we have all these wind fences, and then when they gather, the litter gathers, we have laborers that use the shop vac to suck it all up. And then you saw our equipment line on the left. So our equipment line is right here. You can see some of the equipment that has these teeth. They're compactors. Each one of those wheels is about 10,000 pounds. And so those compactors are designed to really smash the trash to create room and preserve capacity.
So question, I'm seeing trash is like CR&R. That's been sorted already, right? Before it comes here?
Technically no. If that's
Really?
a trash route,
Yeah.
that's a trash truck and it's getting only trash
Yeah,
for the trash bin,
yeah.
they're allowed to bring it here. We don't tell them no, but they have to still tell the city we're recycling 50% of the waste. So they're responsible to recycle. So if they make a financial decision to bring it here rather than trying to recycle it, then that's their call. But at the end of the day, they have to report to their city they recycle 50% of the waste that was generated.
Oh, whether they did or not.
So
But there's no check and balance, so
Yeah.
it's their word.
Yeah, if the residents throw recyclable stuff in the trash,
So all the trash collectors where the big trucks come here on a daily basis.
So that you are allowed to do residential, private, like these people here, are these? Like,
okay,
is it
so
residential?
we're commercial only at FRB. At the other two landfills, it's open to the residents. These guys have to have a contractor's license, business license, and then they can come and dispose of their waste,
Like junk bug.
like junk bug.
Yeah.
Now,
What is this small truck here?
He's
I mean-
talking about it right now.
that's his business,
Oh.
and he's doing demo for someone, and so businesses are allowed to come in here even if they're very small, like a contractor, small-time contractor.
Oh, I see.
The future is
What about gardeners?
gardeners can come here too. Yeah, gardeners. They usually don't. It's cheaper to dispose at TVI,
Oh.
which is does the green waste. They'll just take it there.
Like all this green waste right here.
Well,
Yeah.
look at
How did that
look
get
at
in?
But look at that fake grass right there.
Yeah. It's fake
But
grass.
shouldn't that green waste, those big piles right here, have gone somewhere else?
Yes, we're doing education to them to send it to another place, but right now they're not. We can accept that. The thing is, what you're seeing right here is there's future designs to do more recycling with that wood and with that green material, where we would send this to a part of the landfill that had more boxes and areas for people to recycle. We're not there yet, but we're looking to create some type of dirty, it's called a dirty MRF, a MRF on the landfill for this material, see if we can pull some of this material for recycling. Are we there yet? No. Are we planning for it? Yes. Any metals that are in here will be pulled out. Any mattresses that are in here will be pulled out. The rest will be disposed. As we develop new programs like an area dedicated to these small timers to bring in that pallet right there, that pallet could be recycled. Some of those cardboard boxes will be recycled. It's just, we're not there yet. But if you come out here in 2 years, you might even see a whole new area where we're just these folks, and they're having sections. Here's the C and D, material, or here's the concrete, and we will put them in bays, and then we'll create contracts so that material is taken off site.
So all trucks are weighed
Yes.
at the entrance,
Scale.
and based on the tonnage of the weight,
Charge.
That's what they do.
charge
$60 a ton.
$60.
No,
a ton.
$62 because we just had
62.
our new inflation increase. It was 60, and then we had our biggest increase because it's based off of CPI guidance. It's standard, but the inflation was so high it went up $2.
So each 18-wheeler, like that red truck going up there,
Yeah,
how many tons does it
20
hold?
tons.
That's 20 tons.
20 tons.
So what would this truck be if it was full of rock?
If it was full of rock, that truck, that truck is short bed.
Yeah.
If it was full of rock and material and It'd probably could at least be an $80 load.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
$80 load. But if that's short bed. If it was long bed,
In the video, when you put the mattresses in the containers, where did that go?
it goes to a certified mattress recycler that takes out all of the materials, the metals, the springs, and recycles it all.
So Isaiah, if that truck was 20 tons,
Yeah.
and he came with full load, he's paying $1,200 to dump the trash
Now
today?
it's $60 for residents or businesses like these guys, but the cities have a special rate. It's a contract rate. It's a city rate, and that's $37 a ton.
Still, that's about $800.
Yes.
And so every trip, $800 per truck.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's a very good income for you guys.
Well, that scraper right there is $2 million. We just bought 2 of them. They're $4 million total. So, and then the maintenance on that scraper is probably about $20,000
That's your cost.
a year. Yeah, that's cost of business. So it's just it's a cost of business thing, but also we're enterprise, so I manage the budget, but it's not that stringent.
Interesting. Junk bag. Eco-friendly.
I
junk
forgot. You
removal.
said you have 3 feet of dirt.
What's that? Eco-friendly.
And then how many feet of trash do you have before you put? It goes in layers, right? So you have 3 feet of dirt, and then you have trash. Is how deep is that?
So usually a cell. So these are all cells. Yesterday was right here. It's about a 20 to 25 foot cell that's long.
So this was buried yesterday.
That was yesterday. So these new cells, it's about 20 feet. So from here to the top of that bench right there, it's about 20, 25 feet.
And then you put dirt on top of that again.
And then you put a little bit of dirt, not too much, just enough dirt to quell the odors. We do have residents, and during certain atmospheric conditions, will smell a little bit. So we have misting system that guards, and we've improved our BMPs because 10 years ago, 20 years ago, there was no residents in Portola, Lambert Ranch. None of that was developed.
Right.
So we're now starting to have to try good neighbor policy, like trying to be cognizant of the downwind situation.
So all these troughs or whatever they're called, is that like
cells.
water?
Cells.
No, like what are they called?
Oh, the drainage
the
ditches?
drainage.
Yeah.
Was all landfill up there? Or?
No, that's all native. Everything
Native,
over here
okay.
is native. Everything over here behind us is landfill, and we're on trash.
Okay.
So this valley, if you kind of could see it, there was a valley here. There was from that slope, and then
that makes sense.
there was a huge valley
Yeah.
that was at least 80 feet down just 3 years ago.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was like deep.
Wow.
So
interesting.
and now we're almost connecting the top of this to the top of that, which is an older part of the landfill.
So where we're parked
How
right?
long are you contracted to be doing this here?
Are we permitted to?
Yeah.
2070.
2070?
Yeah, but we can extend that if we have more space.
Yeah.
Because they're not building landfills anymore in California.
Wow.
So what are they gonna do
once
with
they're gonna rail it out to Nevada or Apex, different
Wow.
landfills that are
And it
still
really costs money.
open. Then it really costs money.
I like how the guy caught him throwing chemicals in there.
Oh yeah, that's Chris. He's a waste inspector. Any type of chemicals, paint, pesticides,
Junk bug, shame on
batteries, things that could cause fire, they're on top of it.
Will that hill be a landfill?
Which hill?
This right here on my right.
No, that's gonna stay native.
Will you take over avocado areas too eventually?
No avocado areas
avocados
here
make no sense.
that we're gonna take over.
Why would you take
We
over
have some avocado groves down there, but that's owned by Irvine Ranch, or I mean the Irvine Company.
So you'll never go over that.
No, that's Irvine Company.
Do you have many coyotes scavenging here at night?
We have tarps when we cover the trash. Brea has more of a problem of coyotes in that hills area. Over here we'll get a couple, but mostly crows, but nothing major. We have a couple mountain lions down here too. That
You mean you tarp this whole trash?
we tarp
night?
sections at night, just a section.
Wow.
We tarp at night. Yes. you can see the tarps over there. That spool next to that red truck on the right. See that yellow spool?
Yeah.
That's an empty one, but there's usually a tarp on it.
Sure.
And then they go to the
Oh, it's
very
not
top with the dozer,
Yeah.
and then they just unroll it onto the site
can send you
landfill
copies.
when we close.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The site actually is open from the first guys that get here are 5 a.m. to get the equipment ready and to undo the tarps. We accept trash at 7, and we close at about 6 o'clock. No, the site closes at 5, but it takes another hour to close it out.
So there are truckers coming in every hour until 7 p.m.
Yes.
If you have to put tarp over it every evening and then remove the tarp every morning, isn't that a lot of work?
It's more work, but it's more cost effective than putting dirt over it. Dirt is a capacity killer. It takes out space.
What's the reason that you have to cover it every night?
The LEA, the local enforcement agency, audits our landfill and comes out on unannounced monthly audits and checks our gas wells to make sure we're not emanating methane. They'll look at our operation and make sure that it's clean and consistent. And if we have an open face in the middle of the morning when they come out at 5:30 a.m., we're gonna get written up big time. And we'll have some sad excuse like, oh, the equipment broke down, we couldn't finish tarping that section, and they'll be like, no, you just violated.
So just for the purpose of wild animals, nothing else.
Well, wind would probably blow the stuff away at night.
It'll mitigate odor.
Oh, odors.
Yeah, it'll control odors.
Control odors.
So eventually, when they hit 38, people will start getting fined for dumping this stuff in here, like greens and stuff?
The green material, we can't find.
Oh, you can't.
They're a business. We have a rate. We can deny green material and tell them to go somewhere else. We're now really just mostly starting the public outreach campaign to landscapers saying, no, take it to TBI. Take it to TBI. We're not recycling it here. Take it there. But we haven't gotten the direction from leadership to say, send them there. They don't accept the rate.
So you cheaper to dump it here than dump it over there?
It's actually cheaper to dump it at TBI, so we think it's an education issue. And we only get 1 or 2 a day, so it's not a big thing. Eventually, landscapers figure out the cheaper option.
If the purpose was the tarping every evening just to keep odor down, what about all the odor when you open up the tarp in the morning?
Good question. It does waft odor, and during the odor season, which is from October to January, we actually open up less tarps and start small, and then wait till the day goes further. When the day gets further, right around 8 o'clock, then we'll undo the rest of the tarps.
You should film this one, this trucker.
We've never had
Trash
odor.
now.
Our odor issues are
Film
from
the whole action. Yeah.
Our odor issues are from 5 to 7:30 a.m. and from 8 to 11 p.m. Never during the operational day because the heat pulls up the air. There's more wind. There's nobody complaining about it. It's mostly in the mornings.
So it's not some kind of special deodorizing tarp, it's just a regular tarp.
It's regular tarp, but we also, so another thing, during odor season, we have a water truck that's mixed in, has an odor solution in its water tank and sprays it as the last act before we leave for the day.
Whoa.
So we have all these systems in place that were only learned because residents had to tell us like, hey, it's not working, we need to get better. And we want to get better, we don't want any problems.
I don't think I heard what someone else is that like you tarp it, you don't want to put dirt on it because it's cost effective to tarp it at night. Now, what's the thickness that's compressed before you put a layer of dirt on it? Estimated.
If you see here, we do chase it with dirt. It's not, we don't keep it open and tarp because tarping, you would have to tarp this whole face would be here for the whole day. So we do chase it with dirt, and the dirt thickness is about a foot, 18 inches, just to cover the soil. Anytime that you are going to leave a slope for a while and not fill in that area, you have to put at least 3 feet.
3 feet of dirt.
Yeah, 3 feet of dirt for intermediate. It's called intermediate cover, where you can fill there, but you don't plan to fill there for at least a year or 2. But if it's just daily dirt cover, about a foot, 18 inches.
And then more
And then follow trash, and then we'll come over here again and we'll start doing trash.
What about the air quality for the workers here? They're breathing this thing.
Yeah, air quality.
time.
We actually did a study of air quality
Yeah.
where we had machines on our laborers. They didn't even like it. And so far, we haven't had anything that has caused concern. We do have a county hygienist that third party that had us do this. It's a big project, and we really were focused on when we do our composting and when we screen. There's fine particles there. So that there wasn't advised to wear a mask during the screening process, just because there's a lot of fine particles in the dust. They're able to wear masks. We provide them all the PPE they need, to even camelbacks on a hot day.
But they don't wear it. Nobody is wearing.
Chris actually does. Where's Chris? My waste inspector. He was wearing masks before it was cool.
Okay.
He was geared up.
Like this guy. Okay, if you guys have a chance, Mega Landfills.
Wow.
It's an educational documentary on YouTube that has about 3 million views, and we had a British company come out and really do like a documentary of our landfill, our people.
I saw that one.
It's a good one, and maybe if you guys you can see it. And
Yeah, that'd be great.
it's called Mega Landfills. If you just Google Mega Landfills, it's like right there, and we're kind of excited. It was 3 years ago.
Is that your landfill?
This is here.
No. That film is about this.
Yes.
Oh.
I have an onion in my pocket. Can I throw it out to generate some methane?
You can throw it in the green waste.
I wanted to throw it out here. I'm
That's
just
so
kidding.
hard
kidding.
for
This
him
guy.
to dump. Yeah.
I know.
He's going. Uh-oh. So
Oh,
some
his
of it didn't get out, so he's gonna back up and brake to try to kind of break it. There it is.
Oh.
These
to
do tip
thrust them
over, by
down.
the way.
Oh.
They do tip over. They're especially on high wind days.
Oh my goodness.
We have had tip overs, so we kind of leave this guy.
Oh, this is
alone.
construction material, isn't it?
This is C&D. No, this looks like trash. Or it could be both.
Everything. Yeah, tires. Oh my lord.
Well, he's
What is
having.
he doing?
So-
I don't know.
So those big trucks like that,
I think he thinks he upfloaded.
No,
What do you
I think
think?
he's trying to straighten out because he didn't want to back up. See where those riffles are? The dirt.
Yeah.
He wants to do that
It's gotta
maneuver
fill in the.
on a flat land. He doesn't want to do that maneuver with that dirt because he could tip
Oh.
over.
Okay.
Actually, I haven't seen something like this.
This is actually in action.
This is actually this is him trying to
Right
figure
in
it out.
action, yeah.
Okay, hit it.
You should send this film to Isaiah, right?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Okay. So he could include that in his.
now what happens if a driver decides to just dump the load right in the middle?
Like right over there.
Yeah.
Then he'll be asked not to come back for a little while.
Are they gonna get fined?
No, he'll just he said he can't come back here, and then he'll have to report that to his management team.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he'll be fired.
Yeah, we control the flow and the just all that stuff here. They know not to do that, but like it's an education process when they come here too. Some of the drivers are very new, young
Very
drivers.
experienced,
This
this
guy has
guy.
experience.
Yeah,
He doesn't
he
want to
knows.
mess around with this thing
Right.
because he'll tip over if he tries to. Let's see what's in here.
Oh.
He's filming. I think he's
He's
filming.
trying to dump on top of the.
And it's nice
trash
because he
already,
is
yeah.
trying to dump towards the
Yeah,
trash.
towards the trash.
If he dumps more over here, our dozer has to use diesel to push it
Yeah,
further in. So what he's doing right now is actually good for us. He's
Right.
trying to get it right on that floor.
Are you open on the weekends too?
Saturday we're open, and Sundays we have a skeleton crew. We don't take trash, but we do have a skeleton crew just doing maintenance, keeping an eye on things. About 6 guys here on Saturday, or on Sunday. Saturday we do take the least amount of trash. A lot of residents come in on Saturday, especially at the public landfills.
What do you call those yellow trucks? What do you call them?
Those are dozers.
Dozers.
Those are dozers.
Behind them, the wreck look like.
That's a
thing.
dozer too.
Oh, they use that to scoop up.
They use it to push the. They push the trash. You'll see him push it, and then he'll lift his blade and feather it along the slope. So you know, you just kind of
okay,
feather it
okay.
up,
Uh-huh.
and then the tracks will help compact. So he's gonna.
Wow.
No, I think now he's gonna do that maneuver.
But as he tipped it and it was coming out, he should have just started moving forward.
Oh my goodness.
So is that like from waste management and then they just dump it into the top of those trucks, or how does that?
Oh, there's your
get
mattress.
filled?
That trash is from Huntington Beach. It's Madison materials. So, oh, I'm sorry, Madison. No, that trash is from Almadena.
Where's Almadena?
That's in Orange,
City Orange?
city of Orange, but it's an unincorporated community called the Almadena area.
Really?
It's a county unincorporated.
So basically, they take their trash trucks and then fill up that truck,
Yes.
and then he comes here.
Yes.
Wow.
So all this garbage that we see right now is
Yeah.
what's been dumped here since 6 a.m. this morning.
Yes.
So this is all since 6 a.m.
That stuff right there that's being compacted, that was all tarped yesterday. So that was yesterday's trash. The compacted one. All of this trash that looks fluffy, non-compacted, that was today's trash.
So how soon will it get to over here?
Tonight.
No, where we're at.
Oh, what's that?
Where we're at
Where
now.
we're at, depends on the fill plan. They always move things around, but I would say in a couple weeks, because they're going to fill this whole area and then they're going to typewriter back. It's called typewriter. They'll typewriter, and by the time we get to here, maybe in a week or two.
Are those tarps reusable?
Yes, yes, reusable tarps.
Oh my goodness. If this were in Philippines, you'd see a lot of kids running through them.
Pros are
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for stuff.
We have light towers because at night it gets dark at 5 and they're here till 6. This is a gas you can tell this is a gas system to measure the vacuum, make sure that's a major tie-in. And then we're going to get solar
Is this to measure the gas?
to measure gas flow and to make sure that all the systems are kind of working, just to kind of track the flows that are happening below ground. You can see the tarps, that's a tarpomatic machine, and then you see the tarp spools. So the dozer blade connects to that, where it's hooked like this. The dozer blade connects, lifts it up, and goes to the fill and starts their tarping. They usually start tarping around 3 o'clock.
So what are we missing in the other one? Did you say the biologist or something in the next meeting?
Well, that was more of the habitat piece. Like, you know how I shared with the wetlands and the water basins, and how if we were to open up new landfill, which in a year we're going to start cutting, in a year we're going to see liner along this hillside over here, more over here. And as we cut over there and take out natural habitat, we'll have to find places to put it on site to reintroduce, or we have agreements with Crystal Cove and Agua Shannon, some canyon areas with Irvine Ranch Conservancy, and we'll fund the planting of new trees. Our biologist keeps us on. She keeps us squared away. Don't take out too much plants. Be careful. Like she's very on top of us on not being.
Well, it's going to cost you a lot of money if you take too many plants.
Exactly. It costs a lot of money, and she really cares about like all the good things about when she sees this, she sees a habitat that was taken away.
Right.
And this is a whole canyon that was open for nature, and now it's for our disposal.
Right. It's good for her.
When you are getting ready to open a new pit and paleontologists must be present, do you pay paleontologists or do they pay you to do their service?
Aren't they?
We pay the paleontologists. Actually, we don't pay them directly. The contractor that does the excavation will pay the paleontologists and factor it in.
How much does that cost? A lot?
Oh yeah, $800 a day, potentially. Water truck drivers, sprays, the air quality board, they want to make sure we don't kick up too much dust, cause dust issues. That's why when you see construction sites, you'll see water spraying. Water suppresses the dust. It helps it from not emanating into the air. So our water truck, you can see just water lines. He'll just spray every so often in areas where it doesn't. That's kind of his job during the day. That's our new scraper, the 657. Those are dirt movers.
USA?
Yes, that's made in Illinois. Caterpillar. That excavator as well helps dig pipes.
Talking about the one on the left or the right?
The one with the big boom on the left, that's the excavator. We use that to dig trenches to put in landfill gas pipes.
But which one's the one that does the pick up the dirt?
So this one's straight ahead,
Okay.
right there. It looks like an ant or like a.
Yeah.
And if there's another one behind it, a couple more.
Yeah.
But when we get a big contractor out here, they'll bring 30 of those things out, and they look like ants. And they're gonna be over. They were in that bowl over there. You see that bowl on the left, like above the white liner?
Yeah.
They were here, just taking out all of that dirt and getting
Wow.
it ready for liner. That's the next section we're gonna line back over there and fill.
I think this was green a minute ago.
We do get green slopes, but usually during the rainy season.
Oh, I meant the plastic.
Yeah, it's green up here, white down there. Green is because it's a view shed area, so it's a little bit more expensive, but anybody that can see it from down the mountain, we want it green. That you can't see, so we just went with that color.
Gotcha.
Why don't you do your own excavating versus getting contractors to come?
Because our operation crew would have to be double during a specific time. So we would need another 20 operators during a construction phase. So the cost of paying for them to sit around when we're not constructing, the cost for that pension, and so the Board of Supervisors also likes it when we work with businesses and create jobs for local businesses. So we there could be a cost saving. And some of the guys, they're used to just a certain way of heavy equipment operating. And when we get a specialized cut or construction like that, you want to get operators that are more experienced than that too.
Certified.
Yeah, we found jobs for operators to do that other people could do but charges twice as much. Like that excavator, we bought that to do our own gas lines. When a contractor would come out here and charge us twice of what it would cost us. So we found ways to have our operators make us money. We consider it making money when we're not having
You're saving.
Yeah, we're saving that money from having to have the administration to go out to bid and have another company come out and do it. So we're flexible and we try to stay busy, but the big $30 million, $40 million jobs, we leave that to the big ones.
So what's the relationship between you and with waste management?
Well, there's many different waste management.
Well, waste management, the one with the green,
The one that collect
the
my
private
trash.
hauler.
Yeah.
The relationship with the haulers is that we have a contract with them. Well, actually, we have contracts with the cities. The cities direct them to bring it to us.
Okay. Because they are in Arizona as well, and I don't know what other states they're in. But you are just here.
We are just.
Okay.
So yeah, we do business with them in terms of them coming out here. Like if their truck driver dropped trash in the middle of the thing, we would tell the local GM, hey, what's going on? You know. So it's more coordination and making sure everything's smooth and safe.
So that big truck that we saw emptying and going back and forth and trying to reposition, what do you think that weighed?
Oh, that was 18 tons.
18 tons, and that's $60 a ton.
That material, that was like $38 a ton because that's contracted waste.
Okay.
Most of it's $38 a ton. It's more of the like the smaller
That's
guys.
really cheap. That's amazing.
It's pretty cheap. The new rates, it's for a 10-year period, with, and the 10-year agreement with all 34 cities that we have expires 2025. So it's going to be like that through 2025, but then it's going to go up to fund the organics programs.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go up that much. It might go up another $4.
Yeah.
And then from there they'll do CPI.
So this whole land is owned by
County of Orange.
by County of Orange.
County of Orange. 725 acres.
And you lease from county?
No, we lease? No, we're county. We're county.
Oh, you're a county,
county.
but you said you're enterprise, so I thought it was a private enterprise.
The way it's enterprise in terms of we make more money than we make more money. We make money for the general fund. So we fund the music jail expansion. We fund major. We
now
fund.
I get it.
We
Okay.
fund like county buildings.
A
and
lot
different
of
things. Yeah.
lot
So
of
the
stuff.
so the CEO knocks on our director's door and says we need 10 million,
Yeah.
and then we prepare that.
Okay, got it. Thank
Do you sell any power to PG&E?
We sell it to Anaheim Utilities. They're smaller, like SoCal Edison. They're smaller, but they're the ones who have the business partnership with Bowerman Power, and Bowerman Power sells it to Anaheim Utilities about 20 megawatts a day.
So that's where this got its name, Bowerman.
Yeah, they just figure, we'll be like you guys. You know, Bowerman. Our director has already said that he wants to pivot away from third party, because third party only cares about maximizing the gas and not removing the gas. So we're seeing a conflict a little bit in terms of we care about residents and public exposure, and they care about their bottom line.
Yeah.
So Prima is going to end their 20-year agreement with their gas producer, and we're going to do it our own. We're going to flare to start, and then we're going to create our own energy systems. I'm not sure if I'm all the way in, only because there's a cost in terms of personnel, and it's just more expensive, but you can gain the true maximum royalty of that energy. And in the state of California, requires that all utilities have 33% of their utility portfolio is renewable. So this renewable power is more expensive than fossil fuel power. And so the state is actually going to make utilities move that up to 50%. So this power is going to be more valuable in the future because it's renewable.
Right. That makes sense. And you get taxes.
And here's our scales. They take about 100,000 pounds and they'll get it to within about 20 pounds. They're very accurate. And we have 4 scales. This one on the right is automated. They just come in, they push a button, and then they go.
What do they allow the truck weight? In other words, how do you know what's trash and what's truck?
Each truck has its own decal, and
it tells you what.
we weigh the truck, and then we tear it out, and then we get the net, and then from there we charge it. That's the trash amount.
So do they get weighed in and out?
They only get weighed in. If they don't have a decal, what we'll do is we'll ask them, I need a deposit, and then they'll weigh the truck empty, and then they'll give the refund, a certain amount. They'll always over